I developed this learned behavior in prison, and that was always check myself. Always check myself.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say the right thing? Did you do the right thing? Are you having the right thoughts? Yeah, it's difficult. But in prison, there's only a couple things. You have a daily routine of maybe 4 or 5 things. You get up, go to chow, you go to your work assignment, come back, take a shower, repeat. It's every single day. Nothing changed. Won't change a bit. Even on holidays. You don't even have holidays in prison. So, I had to, again, work on myself every single day. Every single day. There was never a holiday for me in prison. I came home into the free world.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, how does that manifest? If you've got to check yourself every day, and every day is that kind of like soul-numbing routine, like how does that how does that transcribe to being out? Do you check how does that trauma manifest itself? Do you got to check yourself? You're married now. Like how do you not just keep yourself behind walls?
Well, it's interesting because, when I came home, I was led to believe that I had to be perfect. I couldn't be mad. I couldn't make mistakes. This is what I was led to believe, which was a lie.
How were you led to believe that?
Well,
Was it a lie you told yourself?
it was
or-
a lie that I told myself. For example, if after doing 21 years in prison, I came home and the slightest outburst of anger displayed would cause people to say, I knew it. You are a time bomb.
Wow.
You are a violent person.
Yeah.
I knew it. And I grappled with that for a long time.
What incredible pressure that puts on
Yeah,
someone to like, I've got to be perfect. I can never react. I can never lose my temper. I can never even get frustrated, slam my hand down on the table. Cause then, prison corrupted me and
That's right.
and I was a violent youth and I haven't, solved these issues, my anger management issues.
That's right. And that was the biggest lie that I told myself.
Yeah.
And I realized I do have a right to be mad. You know what it's like to drive in LA traffic? At the height of commute, which
All
is
too
every
well.
day, all day.
All too well. Yeah.
I have a right to be mad. I have a right to be mad. But people assume that I don't have, they told me that I don't have a right to be mad. And when I realized that I do have those rights, again, my life, my perception changed. So coming home into this new world with this new reality and new lived experiences, I had to adapt. And adapting was very difficult. It is very difficult because there are some things that I learned in prison that free people have not learned.
Mm.
For example,
Yeah.
how do I let some things go? How do I let the fact that law enforcement kept me in a room for 25 hours, pressured me into confessing to a crime I didn't do, which resulted in me doing 21 years? How am I not mad at them? You could be mad, but I can't be mad. And I'm not mad because I've learned to just let it go. Some of the lessons that I learned in prison was learning how to let it go. Like, I talk with my wife all the time when there's something bothering her or us or whatever the case may be, and we talk about the analogy of the grenade. When they told me to get out of prison, Rain, I left the grenade at the door.
Mm. Mm.
And I walked away. And this is how I can prove to you that I've walked away, by leaving that grenade at the door. Because look at me. Look where I'm at. I'm able to have a conversation with you. Like I said in the opening, if I was mad, I would not be able to sit here on the other side of this microphone and have this conversation with you. You have to learn how to let go. Don't forget, but learn how to let go. I know that may sound a little bit difficult, but you can let it go.
I have relatives that can't forgive a cousin because the cousin didn't invite them
Yep.
to the one night of the wedding reception and limited it to like 12 people, and they haven't talked to them in 14 years.
Yep.
And they're like, "Ugh, psh,"
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
can't forgive that
Right.
cousin. They can't let that go.
Mhm.
You're talking about forgiving the cops that arrested
Nope,
you?
not forgiving. Never said
Okay.
forgiving.
All right, well,
I said let go.
all right.
Big difference.
Well, is it though? Because, because let's turn to spiritual virtues. So the forgiveness is something I think that happens between people. Like, I forgive this person who did me wrong. If that person broke the law, that doesn't mean they get off scot-free. They need to suffer the consequences of what they did, but I forgive them. And are you saying that you have not forgiven the officers and the district attorney, but you just simply have allowed yourself to let it go? Is there so there's kind of a differentiation there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And let me break it down for you. My definition of forgiveness in this situation is I recognize what you did to me. So I'm going to have an extended arm in dealing with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not forgiving you for what you have done. I'm going to treat you with a long arm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to communicate with you in other words, what you did to me so many years, 34, 35 years ago, will never happen again. Because I know now I know how to deal with you and what you did. I know. I haven't forgiven, but I now have the wherewithal to stand up to you. If you put me in a room right now with two investigating officers with regards to a crime that happened, I know how to defend myself. I know my rights. I didn't know that back then. That's the difference from forgiving and forgetting. So I know how to deal with that.
All right. That makes sense.
But everybody is different. You talk about family, give you a perfect example. I had 21 years to work on myself every single day, 24 hours a day. Extremely work on myself. My family did not have those luxuries to work on themselves because they had all these free devices to tap into to avoid dealing with self-truth. So when I came home, just like you mentioned, you had a relative who still has a 14-year grudge. My family, they too had issues that were unresolved 20-some years ago. And when I came home, they wanted to impress those same unresolved issues upon me. Well, why do I have to have that same belief system that you have? We're not the same. With that being said, I also learned that when I came home, understand when I say this, I was the only sane person in an insane asylum.
Damn.
And so I had to walk a fine line in this insane asylum. Not to do so, I would become insane like everybody else. What am I saying? Look, I learned my self-truth. And I could have came home and denied that self-truth and became insane like everybody else, dealing with those unresolved issues. I can't do that. That's the
So you
learned
came into
behavior.
a ton of family dysfunction,
Absolutely.
Resentments, backbiting.
Sure. Look, when I left, I was 17 years old, a child. And I came home when I was 38. I'm 50. I'll be 51 in March, next month. And so, this void in my life, when I came home, I still had that 17-year-old mindset. Just to put it in perspective, Rain, when I came home, I didn't have a girlfriend. I wasn't dating prior to being locked up. And I came home and I had to learn how to date. Went to the movies with a girl. I'm saying to myself at 38, 39 years of age, oh, is this this time where I'm supposed to grab her hand? Am I supposed to make the move? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When I met my wife, I was using terms like puppy love. She thought I was crazy. Like, dude, what's wrong with you? Nobody uses those terms anymore, puppy love. But it was the truth. That was my truth. I was growing into this mature physical man. You know?
Yeah.
I looked like a 38-year-old. Well, you know, I don't look like I'm 50, but
No,
I'm
you
just
don't.
saying.
You don't. Black don't crack. So,
You know, I have some truth serum if you want to buy some of this truth serum, and you know what I mean? I could show you how to be youthful, man. But
oh, okay. All right. All right.
just do a little prison time and it'll preserve you. And a
Oh,
little,
damn.
but no, seriously, you know, so I had to, you know, accept this new reality, and I had to pace myself in this new world with my sane way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And not to do so, I would become caught up in this insane reality, logic, backbiting, etc. And I just couldn't do that. I can't do that because I learned so much about myself. And so again, we go back to the tools. What tools did I learn while I was in prison to help me become this person that I am today? Again, is going back to self-truth, identifying those issues in your life and making yourself vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable to self. Why lie to self? Lying to self, where's it going to get you? And that afforded me with the opportunity to really appreciate life and where I'm at, which is why I can't be mad at something that happened so many years ago. Being mad right now, I would deny myself these self-truths that I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah.
And this is what life is about for me, is being present in the moment. I can't do anything about my past, what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the top 5 spiritual lessons of all time. You know, we can't do anything about the past. We can learn from it, but which you've done. But, you know, they say resentment is like drinking a poison waiting for the other person to die.
Hey, did you like that video? Why don't you click on this one? Or maybe watch this one? Or click over here.